Welcome to the Nourishing Traditions podcast. I am Dr. Delgado and I'm a physiotherapist, doctor in chiropractic, and a holistic spine care practitioner. I was born and raised in Spain, but I have been living in Botswana for the past 10 years. One of my greatest passions has always been nutrition and longevity. Living here in Botswana has given me the incredible opportunity to discover traditional foods, preservation methods, and cooking practices that have supported healthy aging for generations. When we talk about health, we often look for the latest trends from across the globe, but sometimes the best answers have been right here in our own backyard all along. I see this every day in my clinic. It's not by coincidence that almost every patient I treat has a mother, a father, or grandparents in the 80s or 90s that are completely free of chronic diseases and that are not taking a single day medication. That longevity is a testament to the way they lived and, more importantly, the way they ate. So, what is it about traditional Botswana food that may contribute to a longer, healthier life? Today, we are going to explore the wholesome foods that have nourished generations. Let's begin with one of Botswana's greatest treasures, its traditional green leafy vegetables. These greens are essential components of the local diet, packed with vitamins, iron, and antioxidants that support overall health. When discussing these traditional greens, the focus is on varieties like tepe, morojo adinawa, morojo alerotse. These plants have been harvested across the country for generations. What also amazes me is the traditional method of preserving these vegetables for the dry season. They are typically dried in the sun, a process that concentrates the nutrients and allows them to be stored for extended periods of time. In my clinic, I've noticed a really striking trend. Whenever I speak with patients over the age of 80 who are still in excellent health and free from chronic diseases, they almost always give me the same answer when I ask what they eat. Their diet is, for the most part, based on sorghum. It's not just a staple, it's a genuine powerhouse for longevity. To put it simple, here is why sorghum is so good for us. Unlike refined grains like pap and bread that can cause your blood sugar to spike and then crash, sorghum is a complex carbohydrate. It gives you a slow, steady release of energy that keeps you fueled and satisfied for much longer. It is packed with antioxidants which help fight inflammation and protect your cells from damage, which, as we are seeing, is a huge key to staying healthy as we age. It is naturally gluten-free and very gentle on the stomach, which makes it a very good option for those with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. It is honestly incredible to see how a grain that has been part of this land for so long turns out to be the perfect fuel for a long, vibrant life. Let's now talk about protein. When we look at the Botswana traditional diet, one of the things really stands out, the Swana chicken. Now, this isn't just about tradition. It's about choosing the absolute healthiest option for our bodies. Because these chickens are free range, they live as nature intended, moving freely. That means the meat is leaner, packed with higher quality nutrients, and completely free from the hormones and additives you find in mass-produced poultry. And of course, we cannot have a conversation about the Botswana traditional diet without mentioning the absolute powerhouse that is Madila. If you aren't familiar with these benefits, think of Madila as a traditional fermented superfood. It is essentially a gift for your gut. Because it's made from fermented raw cow's milk, it is full of active probiotics. These are the good bacteria that keeps our digestion smooth and our immune system strong. Plus, the fermentation process makes it so much easier for the body to digest. Let's not forget how to make traditional madila. The way it was made in the past is very different from the way it's done now and sold in the shops. Ask your grandparents or elders to show you the traditional method and make it yourself whenever you can. Preserving these practices is one of the best ways to ensure this valuable knowledge is passed on to future generations. Take mopane worms, for instance. This is truly the Botswana local superfood. They are exceptionally high in protein, often more than beef in density, and they are packed with vital minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium. They are typically harvested during the rainy season, then cleaned and boiled in salt water, and then sun-dried to preserve them. Also, we can't talk about traditional diet without highlighting the incredible plant-based powerhouse that have sustained Botswanas for generations. Groundnuts and local beans like ditto. Groundnuts are a wonderful source of healthy fats and sustained energy, providing the essential nutrients for our bodies that need to keep moving through the day. Then we have the Botswana traditional beans, especially ditto. These are absolute nutritional stars, packed with plant-based protein and high levels of fiber. This fiber is so important for keeping our blood sugar stable, supporting a healthy heart, and ensuring our digestion stays on track. So, why are people in Botswana struggling with high blood pressure, obesity, and diabetes when the country has such amazing traditional foods? The truth is, the younger generations in Botswana are losing touch with the traditional ways of eating and all methods of preserving food. People are replacing healthy homegrown diets with processed staples, like were never part of the culture in Botswana. Things like refined pap, white bread, and pasta. On top of that, there is too much sugar being consumed, from sweets and juices to fizzy drinks. A traditional nutrition meal of the swa with morojo adinawa and mabele is being traded for a quick stop at a fast food chain. That is the root of the problem that Botswana is facing. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a simple thought. If you are searching for the key to a long, healthy life, you don't need to look for the latest internet trends or the newest food fashions. Instead, look closer to home. Talk to your elderly family members, but more importantly, observe them. Look at their lives. Notice how they wake up early in the morning to start their days. Perhaps they take a walk or cycle to the kettle post. Watch how they spend their days outdoors, soaking up the sun and staying active through the day. Observe how they build their lives around genuine social connection, their faith, and consistent, simple habits. In this fast paced, digital, and often lonely world we call modern, these practices are more valuable than ever. Let's learn from those who have mastered the art of living well. Let's bring some of that wisdom back into our own routines and start living in a world that is a little more simple, a little more real, and a lot more healthy. Thank you for being here today. By simply listening to this podcast, you've already taken an important step towards improving your health. And I'm truly grateful for your time and commitment. Hope today's conversation has inspired you to embrace the wisdom of your traditional foods and healthy habits. Until next time, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Hello, Dimpo. Welcome to the Nourishing Tradition podcast. Today's episode is called the Botswana Traditional Table. Obvious why I chose the title, because today we are going to talk about one of my biggest passions since I came to Botswana, that is the traditional food. For me, this is very important because I see this shift in the generations, that what is happening now in Botswana. So the older generations are much healthier than the younger ones. I all the time see those people in the 80s, in the 90s. The other day, I even met someone that had a father that was 117. All those people that lived very, very long, healthy lives. And they ate traditional Botswana food. But in contrast now, I find those people in their 50s, in their 60s, even the 40s and 30s, to be honest, that are struggling already with high blood pressure, with diabetes, and all of these chronic diseases which are preventable. So why I want to bring this food today into this video is because I believe this food should not be lost. And we should do everything we can to preserve the way these things are planted, are preserved, and are even commercialized so that everybody can have access to them. So, welcome. And I want to start with the green vegetables, the green leafy vegetables that are used in Botswana. What are the names of these two?
Yeah, I see here you've got delele, which is a foraged wild veg or moroho, and then over there you've got the moroho adinawa, which is like the vegetables out of the bean leaves. Um, so yeah, like I said, delele is wild, is usually foraged, so it's a seasonal thing. So you normally with delele, um, people would pick it up and then you would dry it in a basket inside the house, and then once it's dry, then you would put it in a sack or some in any container that would keep it fresh from mold and from anything that would eat it or bugs or anything like that. And then the same with moroho. So moroho, wadinawa is basically the shoots or the leaves, the tender leaves of the beans that will come out later in harvest. So you pick the fresh, tender leaves, and then you would then cook the leaves. Normally, because the process of cooking the leaves is over time, you tend to get rid of all the nutrients. So traditionally, you would have rose pulp added inside it. Sometimes they will add like ground pumpkin pumpkin seeds grounded for extra nutrition because of
Wow.
the fact that you'd cooked the leaves so much.
Yeah.
And then once it's cooked, then it's dried outside, and then it resembles these clumps. And then once it's dried up, then again the same as the delele, you put it in a safe container, and then you keep it the whole year, and then you should last you the entire year for the next season.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is such a clever way of producing something, because the fact that you can keep it throughout the dry season in a dried form, because I believe this you just put it in the pot and then you cook it, right?
Yeah. You just normally cooking it, you would just rehydrate it, put water, and then you would cook it like a stew. And either add onion or tomato, or just put salt or oil, whatever you prefer. Yeah, it's very
That is
simple.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I believe it's also quite inexpensive, because if this you can harvest it in the bush, you can actually take a walk in your surroundings where there are this type of plant and you can take it. Then you can take it home and then you can dry it and keep it for the year.
Yeah. So
It's
delele
really so
actually,
clever.
sorry, delele actually just can grow in people's houses in the yards. Like at my mom's house, it grows in her backyard. So she would pluck it and then dry it for me. And then you either walk outside, not far, or inside the home even. So
Yes,
yeah, it's
that
easily
is
accessible.
yes, really, really amazing. And
Yeah.
this is the leaves of the beans, but you will have also taken the beans themselves, and you will have also cooked the beans, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So you actually you make use of every part of the plant.
Nothing
It's
is
really
going to
clever.
waste.
Nothing is going to waste. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And this sorghum here, this is a very special one, I know, because I've eaten a lot of different type of sorghum, but this is very different and it's very special. That's why I really want to make and mention the importance of this organic and traditionally grown sorghum that you got from me and that I've been eating all this time. So I'm very excited about it. And can you please tell us, where did you get it from?
This sorghum, we got it from. There's still a community of people in the Tsopong areas who are still practicing this traditional methods of growing, and they're still keeping the tradition going. So this is organic, like I just said. It's not commercial stuff that's got chemicals or been refined. It's just like proper organic, and nothing really has been done to it. So there's still a people who still practice this traditional way of planting the sorghum. So every year, like as you know, the first rainy season, like around about November, December time, that's where after the first rains, then people go to their lands to go grow. So this is one of the things that they grow because it's a staple food. It's always been a staple food for Botswana for years, really. So this is one of the things that has to be grown. So So the people in Japan still grow it. But I feel like right now we see less of it because of what comes with it, because it takes a lot. Like to plow, it means that have to be at the farmlands to make sure nothing comes to eat, like especially the birds that come. So you have to really wait at the farms to make sure that it grows well. And then after growing, then there's a harvest and then you keep it. Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, I think it's worth all the investment, and I think it's worth all the money, because I mean, this is the type of thing that if I get a patient, I'm gonna tell you this one specific one that struck me. He was 93 years old, and he came to the clinic because his knee was a little bit painful when he's cycling in the bicycle to his post. The kettle post was around 7 kilometers, which means this 93-year-old man was cycling
Wow.
7 kilometers every day to get to his kettle post. And I asked him, "What do you eat?" He didn't want to know, "What do you eat?" So his answer was sorghum. So what would be more important than supporting those people that are planting it? Even it is very difficult, of course, because what you were explaining, it only worked because there was a community behind it. And then someone was checking the other person's yard, then another one is checking the other one, so that the birds don't come and eat it. But I really believe we should explore ways of keeping those traditional plantations from dying, because, of course, now those people are getting less and less motivated with it. They instead plant something else, right? They now choose to plant maybe maize or to plant other things because this is hard. But what can be more worth it than planting something that is going to make you live for longer and a very healthy life?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, sorghum is one of those, is one of the superfoods. It's been eaten for generations and generations. So I feel like you're right, we need to preserve it. Yeah, it has to be preserved and be brought back into our culture.
Definitely, definitely. Because I believe even this grain, you can pound it and then it turns into the mabele, right? That you can eat with the meat, and you can eat it. You can actually eat it in so many ways. You can keep it like this. You can then even ferment it.
Yeah.
You are the one that introduced me to that process, because I never knew anything. I actually never ate sorghum before I came to Botswana. In Spain, people don't really know about sorghum. Maybe it doesn't grow in those conditions, but I just was amazed by when I got to know it. And then by you explaining to me that you can even ferment it, and now you are eating something that has been fermented, and it has more probiotics, it's even easier to digest, it has all those added benefits just by adding water and fermenting it, right? That's how you do it. How do you ferment it?
Yeah. I mean, there's many ways you can ferment it, but well, not many. There's one of them is to make ting. You first of all you have to grind the grains into powder and then make into a thing. It's like a starter. It's a fermented thing where you make a porridge in the morning, but also you can also sprout. It's more like a sprouting. You can keep the grains as they are in water, and then it kind of, I don't know, it releases some, I don't know, the outer shell of the grain opens up a little bit. When you cook it, it has this different flavor, and all you need to do is just boil the grain. So there's many ways you can have it as a grain. You can have it as pounded into powder for porridge or for bohobe. So it's versatile, really, when you think about it. It's just that it just looks so brown and but it's very tasty also.
It's really tasty. I really love it. It's one of my go-to foods every day. And the other day you even told me you can even make popcorns. And I actually made them, and my kids enjoyed it a lot. So now I'm even more amazed with sorghum that you can even do popcorn. That is really something.
And it's gluten free. So yeah, that's another excellent thing about it. Because nowadays we have gluten tolerance, but sorghum is one of those things that is gluten free, which is so good for you overall.
I think if the world will know about this, they will really support this grain growth, and it will be such an amazing option instead of wheat and other things. Because the problem that I see now is that people are changing this for all the grains, not grains even, for pap, for all the other carbohydrates that are very processed and that are not, they don't actually have almost any nutrition, like pap and like bread and pasta. They forgot about this traditional grain, which at least it was supporting the immune system. It had other benefits, and they have changed it for a big plate of pap, which it doesn't have anything, right?
No, doesn't sustain you.
Yes.
There's no fiber. There's fiber in here, and of course, we know that fiber is one of the most important things for your gut health.
Definitely.
So with pap, everything is bleached. Nothing.
Yes.
There's zero nutrition in pap compared to this. I mean, this it's not just fiber, as you know. There's a lot of protein even, and more minerals and stuff in sorghum. So I think it's just so overlooked. We need to go back to eating sorghum, and then it takes a lot. Well, not a lot. It's effort rather than convenience. It's quick to cook macaroni as compared to this, but it's more rewarding to eat the sorghum than macaroni for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and if we now move into also one of my favorite things, since I was introduced to it again by you.
Yeah.
And we even went to a farm and we actually saw it and we removed it from the ground.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I was really amazed. I don't think I will ever forget that experience, because you remove it from the ground, it comes into a shell. It's like, you can really see that it's packed with nutrients and that's a really, really healthy thing.
Yeah.
And it grows. Actually did try to grow it in my garden. It doesn't grow. It really dries. It really grows into like arid, dried areas. It grows in the soil of Botswana that
sandy,
you don't water, sandy. So we can grow it everywhere in the country, really. So can you explain to us how to cook dito and what can be a nice way of eating it?
Yeah. So there's two ways of eating dito. So like you just said, we went to the farm. That time we went to the farm. So you actually pluck it out of the ground and it comes out in these big clusters and it looks just magical. So you can eat dito as nyebu, what we call a nyebu in Setswana. It means fresh before it's dried up. So you would wash them, of course, because it's sandy, and then you boil it with just salt. That's another beautiful thing. You don't need a lot of things. You just need put a little bit of salt, boil them, and then obviously before you eat it. The fun part is to shell them and then pop in your mouth.
Yes.
But the other way of eating it would be like here they're dried up. I see they've been shelled and dried up. So then you would need to rehydrate them and then boil them with salt in the pan. And when they dry, also you can also mix them with either with sorghum or you can mix it with sometimes people add corn or like sorghum. You can make a mix of like a grain medley with sorghum and that. Eat them like that, or just make them into more like a soup. You can eat like a soup, or there's many ways to eat them. But it's just simple, boil with salt and and then all is good.
That's amazing. And there are beans, they have a lot of fiber as well. They have minerals, they have antioxidants. There are so many nutrients in them.
Yeah.
So a lot of protein also for if those seasons where there's not a lot of meat, you can eat this instead.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
I think potassium also, as well as iron, because the fact that they grow underground rather than over. So there's so many benefits from eating them.
Really a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now since we are talking about protein, I really want to talk about this. I didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
Because also we've been eating them a lot. And my kids also really like it.
Yeah.
So this is the mopane one. Also, of course, I had not seen this before I came here. Also took me, I think, a few years to try it. I am not going to say I tried it right away. I will be lying. But now that I've tried it, I love it. And I eat it. I really eat it a lot. So can you tell us where do you grow, where do you find this type of worms? And what do you do to keep it like this? Because this can last for very long. It doesn't rotten. It stays fresh, and you can eat it after a few months even, and it stays fine.
Yeah.
So what do they do to preserve it like this?
Yeah, so this mopane worm, like you said, is obviously a caterpillar. I'll refer to as a caterpillar from anywhere there's mopane trees, like in the country, especially the central going up north, there's we do get mopane trees. So every year or once a year or at least twice a year, there's a harvest. So with pane, so to harvest them, you really have to be quite savage. You really have to be quite not be scared of squirmy things. I remember the first
I
time
can only
also
imagine.
harvesting it. I was with my auntie. She was like, "Get out!" So you obviously go on the mopane tree, and then locate your pani worms, and then grab one.
They don't bite, right?
No, they don't. They have spikes.
Oh, they
You
do
just
have
have to
spikes.
not be bothered
Okay.
by the
That's
spiky
something.
because they curl around you. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh.
Because obviously that's the way they feel like you're a threat.
Yes,
So
of
they're gonna
course.
spike so that you let them go.
Wow.
So I had gloves, these utility gloves, like the rubber gloves.
Yes.
So then you grab the head. It's a bit savage the way you harvest it. You grab the head and then you take the head and you press the head right in so that
And you remove the intestines like that.
yeah, you remove whatever is been eating, and then all that greenery stuff out. You expel it out like that.
Wow.
It's like,
Yes.
and then what you're left with, like if you open the pan, you find a bit of yellow. That's more like it's protein.
Yes. When you eat
It's
it, you
fleshy
see
side.
that. Yes.
Yeah. So once you've done that, then the next step, what to do is, because it's dead, right? And then you just boil it in a big pot with salt, and then after that you dry it. So the salt is what actually preserves it. So it can keep for when it's dried up, then you can keep it in a sack, and it would keep for well over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a salt that will also keep the bugs or anything that we're trying to eat, because the salt is very preserving.
Yes.
So with a lot of things, I think when you preserve, even morogo is a salt that preserving. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's such a nice snack. You know that I pack it for school for my kids
Oh.
sometimes. Because I mean it doesn't mess. It's really such a crunchy thing. I mean it would be such a nice alternative instead of chips. That come in a bag.
Yeah.
It almost gives you that type of feeling.
Yeah.
It's really
It's good stuff.
it's good stuff. Definitely good
You
stuff.
just have to be brave.
You just have to be brave to
try
take it the
one.
first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. Okay, let's now talk about this. What is this? Because I always see it by the side of the road, and I'm always very tempted to try it. How do you call it?
This is actually called Lekhala Latsweni. I don't know what
I
it
don't
is
think
in
I will ever
English.
be able to say that name. Can you say it again?
Lekhala Latsweni.
Okay, Lechala Latsweni.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There must be a Latin name for it. I'm
Yes.
trying to find out. So it's actually one of these plants that, if you know how dry it is, if you put it in hydrated in water, it will actually turn green.
Wow.
Yeah, like green. So anyway, this, yeah, like you said, the ladies in front of Choppies, they often sell it. I take it for if I'm feeling lightheaded, dizzy, or that time of the month where I feel like I need to pick up. I don't know
Yes.
exactly what it does, but it does give me that boost.
Wow.
I just need to steep it in hot water, like as if you're doing a herb tea. Let it steep, and then you just drink that cold, whether cold tea or warm tea, whatever how you prepare it. But it just gives you that, it lifts you up, and then dizziness gone, and then you feel more energetic. So headaches,
Yes.
yeah. It's actually another thing that's been foraged. It's picked up in the wild. It's easily, I think it grows, commonly grows anywhere. So
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, and this at the end of the day, it is knowledge that has been there for decades, and
yeah.
people have been taking it, for many different things, and there is, a lot of value to it.
Yeah.
And obviously, it would be ideal to explore it and understand it
Yeah.
and scientifically know exactly what it's doing.
True.
But surely it will be really amazing things if we would look into it.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Dimpo, why do you think that even though Botswana has this power food, this this could be something that will be packed in a nice bag and will be taking it there in a health shop in Madrid and will be sold for 20 euro. It will be really that type of food, and people will be like, "Oh wow, this grain is gluten free," and why are we not making use of it? Why are people instead of taking this, why are they stopping in fast food chains? Why are they eating pizza or fast food instead? And why are people suffering with high blood pressure because of this when they have these things?
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of with going modern or going, yeah, it's just convenience. People just we're tired of, or we don't want something that takes you a while to do. We just want the quickest way, like to cook. Like with sorghum, you need to wash it and then to drain it and then to boil it. But it doesn't take that much longer than cooking rice. I think it's more convenience, and also people prefer things that are more, I don't know, addictive, I guess. Once you
Yeah.
go pasta or once you go pizza, you're in a vicious cycle. You want more of that. You want more of that. It's like, so it's more of convenience. People can't be bothered at time. So I think we need to change our mindset that with food, it's not about how easy somebody can cook. We need to think further, like it's more of nutrition and have more patience.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, of course, a bigger effort. Obviously, all of these things we've talked about the process of preserving it and, making it together. It does take a bigger effort. I totally get that. But at the same time, I think people are not aware of how their life can change because if you think, how do I want to live? Do I want to be like my grandfather and my grandmother? That lived up to 80, 90, 100 years old. And those grandparents are still alive, right? You can still go and visit them in the house. And those grandparents are still going to be eating all of this.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, we think we are modern and we now have the influence of the internet and there's so many options. And we go and eat in a fast food chain and we get hooked into that habit and lifestyle, and we forget of what it is to be healthy. And then our lives are not that healthy. And then people are struggling in their 40s, in their 60s, 50s with obesity, with high blood pressure. They have heart problems purely because of the way they're eating. So wouldn't it make sense to just make that effort? I mean, what effort can be of more valuable or value than eating something to live a long, healthy life? That's really why I wanted to bring you here today because I really think we have to make people in Botswana wake up
Yeah.
and to be like, now we need to make changes. We need to make changes because obesity is in the children. It's not now of those with more money or less money. Obesity is now everywhere. Because if you don't have a lot of money and you cannot afford buying certain things, you still can afford to eat this because some of the things you can find them, some of the things are relatively inexpensive. At the end of the day, it's going to be the same for you to buy a bag of pap than to buy a bag of sorghum. So people really need to understand. I thought that maybe people don't know it, right? Maybe they think pap is fine. Maybe they think that, okay, this is a new thing brought from outside. It must be good, but it's not.
No.
It's not. They are making you sick. It's
Yeah.
making you sick.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought we have to have this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like we can't rely on everything that's brought to us. You just have to educate yourself. You have to know what you're eating. You have to know, just like you're taking charge of your life.
Yes.
You just have to wake up and then educate yourself. And also everything comes with, it's not in life, it's not easy. You just have to work for something, or be either a healthy body. You need to either go for a walk, you can't sit at home, right?
Yes.
So people need to be more educate themselves about these type of things, like, and also I don't know what it is, why it's like there's a shun into eating this type of food, because I don't know, I think it's either because they're more humble, whether we think we're
Yes,
becoming more
maybe that's
modern.
also
We
a
see things
reason.
through TV or media. Like, eating macaroni is way better than this. What
Yes,
actually, in fact,
when it's
this is
not.
more like gold. Sorghum is much better. So I think it's that there's a mixture of things where people just look down on the foods that we used to eat. The humble, you know. but it's they're versatile. Like I just said, they just look brown. Like if you look at it here, there's nothing vibrant, no red, no orange, but it's like there's something you can do about it, but also there's a health benefits about it. So I think that's the problem.
Yes, and it's very, very sad. It really makes me very sad. And I agree. I think they probably, newer generation, they see it as like, no, this was the type of food that my grandparents ate. It was a food that you ate when you didn't maybe have a lot of money and you ate this. So now, because I have money, I can afford to go to a fast food chain. Yes, fine. But at the same time, it's really damaging your health. So how worth it is that? And newer things are not necessarily good. They can be appealing, they can look like exotic or different or give you certain type of standard or a high level life. But at the same time, it will focus more on simple things. And this food actually brought communities together, brought the family together, because even when we cooked and prepared that leroce that we met once, we do this huge leroce, we cut it into pieces, we remove the seeds, we did all of that. It brings people together. You'll be talking and enjoying and doing something outdoors. And it's actually healthier in every way compared to, driving through something and then buying that. Now you are eating that alone in your car without even being conscious of what you are eating. It's such an impersonal and unhealthy way compared to, you harvest all of this together, you cooked it on that a traditional pot. Now the food is ready, everybody gets together, you are talking, you are sharing. It's just a much more happier life.
Yeah, you mentioned like a community, like, to traditionally to get sorghum into powder, what would happen is because obviously you will get like kilos of the stuff, right? And to cook like a meal, you would need to pound this. Like women would gather. Um, on Monday, you would know. I don't know. It was probably never like this, but like on a one day, you'd go to Raquel's house, and then on a Tuesday, you come to my house. So you will have about a 10 kilo to pound. Now, back then, there was no mills. Like right now, you can take it to the millery, they will mill it for you, and then they give it to you as a powder, right? Back then, women would help each other. Like they had this huge muscle and pestle, like a kikalamotse. So they would pound this thing, pound it into powder, and then it's a process. It's not just pounding it. You have to, the other day at your house, we tried to mill it.
Yes.
But then you also have to get the morocco, the fiber, the tough out, the stuff that's not palatable. So it was a process of women. One would be pounding this, one would be tipping it into there. They'll be doing this. So it brought family together. It's like there's something about eating food that's you don't eat it by yourself in a car. You're eating with either just your family, eating together as a family. You're more mindful about what you eat rather than just quick eat your.
And imagine the exercise that you are doing when you are pounding this thing, because it does take a lot, Like now you are literally doing like this one time, Me as a chiropractor, I only think of so many muscles that you are engaging and how you are exercising. Like now, okay, we go and do some kettlebells and we go to the gym, but those people didn't even need to go to the gym and they were so strong. Those women, they would do this, through the season in one house, then in another house, and they'd be literally exercising outdoors on the sun, gaining vitamin D, gaining muscle mass, everything without even knowing that it was good for them.
Right.
But then that's how then they lived up to their 90 and they are healthy and they don't have other things because it's like they were exercising all the time.
Yeah, so it's a double effect. You are working out for your food. You're working out, and then you're getting good food in return. Yeah, it's amazing. Like
really amazing, really amazing. So, Dimple, do you think is there something that we should mention about this that we haven't mentioned yet before we wrap up?
No, I just need to think that we need to have a change of mindset about food. Food, we need to. I always say that you have to feast with your eyes, or like be mindful of what you eat, and think, educate yourself. What is it that it's in here? What am I getting? Not to be too neurotic about it, but just to be mindful and also to get back to tradition because, like you just said, our great grandparents lived, they still live up to 80, and what I want to live up to 80,
Me too.
85, and still be healthy. But the only way we can do that is to go back to the way our grandparents ate, and this modern food is not really healthy for us. Yeah.
No, this is wonderful. Thank you for sharing your knowledge today. I really appreciate you and I appreciate everything that you teach me because as you say, I also want to live a healthy life. I also want to be like those women that I get to meet that are healthy in their 90s and that are just so alive and vibrant. I really want to be like one of those women. So I want to eat what they eat.
No, thank you for
So I
inviting me.
wouldn't know how to
Yeah?
cook it and prepare it if it was not because of you. So
No.
really, thank you.
That's no problem. Thank you so much for inviting me. Let's revive our culture back
Yes,
and eat.
let's do that.
All right. Thank you.